Hey friends, Corey here. Today I'm going to show you how you can 3-star Town Hall 11 using base identification. Let's go. Now, base identification is way too big of a topic to cover in just one video, but what I can tell you is that if you watch this video start to finish, you are going to improve your base identification skills. Couple that with practice and you're going to be 3-starring a lot more often. Make sure you stick around for the end of the video because those that watch the whole video are going to pick up way more pro tips. And second of all, I'm going to be breaking down one of my own triples from CWL in that last attack. First one we're going to take a look at is going to be a Wrecker Lava Loon attack. Pretty easy to see why. Look at all this value over on the right hand side. We got an Eagle, we got the Queen. We also got an Air Defense and a Wizard Tower in there for good measure. So if you can get the Wrecker in there and the Queen, pick up all that value. You've already, and not to mention, CC range is within this compartment as well. So if you can get in there, you take out 3 big values in the base, including the 2 that you have to get in the Queen and the CC. Of course, right behind the CC and the Queen value, that Eagle is also extremely important. If you can't get it with your kill squad or your Queen charge, make sure you get it really early in your Lava Loon because that is a super high value defense and it's especially deadly to loons. I mean, it's deadly to everything. Super high value defense. Another thing that factored into this attack being a good idea is the fact that he knew the CC in this was going to be a mixed CC, all right? It's not a hound. It's not going to keep your Queen tied up forever. You drop a poison on it, and the Queen is going to be able to finish it off and then move to getting some great value in the rest of this base. Now, aside from the ones that we looked at, look a little deeper. We got sweeper value in there as well. Poison is down on the CC as they're stuck on the ice golems. I prefer a little bit more of a damage in my wall wrecker. I would have brought like a P.E.K.K.A. and an ice golem, or excuse me, an ice golem first. I want that to come out first and tank everything. Then the P.E.K.K.A. behind, because a lot of times he can bust through other walls, help kill the Queen, help kill CC troops. But look at that value. Gonna get both those sweepers with the Queen popping her ability right there. Now we're gonna stop and we're gonna take a look at the Lava Loon. All right, you could have kill squad hogged this base, right? Sure, yeah, you could have, but you got the King on the backside, level 50. He's gonna, your hogs are gonna have to mess with him. Loon's not gonna have to mess with him at all, but that's not the only thing that comes into account. We got some fairly wide sections of the base, but honestly, yeah, maybe hogs might have worked on the backside of this base, so I'm willing to give you that. The King makes not a great idea. Another thing that makes it a good idea for Lava Loon is the fact that you got, look at these air defenses all spread out right here. You start looking at where your Hound can path. Look at that Hound coming in. He's going to path really close to this Wizard Tower and this multi-target Inferno, more than likely pulling any red bombs that are there waiting to hurt your loons. And then from this air defense, once this goes down, they're going to be pathing across this Wizard Tower on their way to this next air defense, pulling more of those red air bombs that want to hurt your loons. And then if any Hounds survive this long, they're going to be pathing right across this multi and across this Wizard Tower to that last air defense. So Hound's going to provide really good tanking for your loons throughout this. Only real problem I see with Lava Looning the backside of this base that you have to recognize is the fact that you have 2 multi-target Infernos still up. They're very dangerous for loons. Look in the composition, including the free spell he just dropped. He had 3 freezes and a heal spell. That is more than enough to deal with those. Now look, with this spacing right here, this Wizard Tower and this multi can actually be frozen at the same time by the same freeze. Jokogram's freeze was just a little off. He only freezes the multi, but hey, out of the 2, that is the most dangerous for loons. Oh no, he missed that Wizard Tower again, but he gets it down nice and early. All right, look at this. Look at the Hounds were pathing right across that Wizard Tower just like I said they would. Now look at this. He doesn't have as many loons coming into this multi-target Inferno in this expo as he thought he would. Only 3 left by the time they get there, but he's got that rage spell. That rage spell is going to help those loons do enough damage to get that multi down in 1 drop. They're going to go over and get that expo down in 1 drop as well. So that was beautiful thinking. In the middle of the attack, a haste spell, those loons would have died. They would have not got down the multi. The rage helps them go faster and do extra damage. You don't leave those defenses behind and your attack can keep going. Boom, 1 drop on the expo as well. Beautiful. Grand Warden ability in there as well, keeping some loons invincible. And then that heal spell. We got a lot of low health loons. He wants to heal them up going into that multi and on their way out into the last few defenses of this base. Look at that pack of loons. Because of that heal spell, they got so much health now. He's still got a haste and a freeze. Look at that. Grabbing some excellent freeze value on the backside. Why freeze 1 defense when you can freeze multiple? Especially when you see an air defense and a Wizard Tower next to each other. Or, I mean, just a multi-target is great value. They do a ton of damage and they have really long range. But but if you can couple it with another defense like an air defense or a wizard tower and the same freezes your multi, that's massive value as well. And there we go, Wrecker Lavaloon attack strategy and why it worked just so darn well on this base. Beautiful plan by Jokagram. Hey fam, do me a favor, if you're getting ready to make a purchase inside Clash of Clans, do me a solid, enter code CWC in the supported creator field inside of your settings. It's only good for 7 days, so double check it right before you make any purchase in game. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps support me big time. Next one we're taking a look at is going to be a double jump Queen Charge Lavaloon by Sir Bacon. First thing I want to draw your attention to is the army composition. Now he's only bringing 1 hound. That allows him to bring some extra loons. But if you're going to do that, you got to bring extra minions. That's why he's got 15 instead of 10. If you only have 1 hound to pop, that's less pups, less cleanup. So you got to bring more minions. 15 works. If you're bringing 2 hounds, usually 10 minions works just fine. Does it really matter? Honestly, sometimes it does, but a lot of times it just ends up being a matter of what you're more comfortable with, more hounds or more loons. If I would have done this attack, probably would have done it with 2 hounds just because that's my comfort zone, but I'm pretty confident I would have got that to work as well. So look at this queen charge value here. First of all, this section of the base is sticking out, so as long as he can get that down, and really the mortar doesn't matter. It's set far back enough that the queen is going to take the jump. She's going to be much closer to this. King, of course, is funneling the other side over there. You can trust him to get a good bit of funneling done. That jump's going to take that queen into the base. From inside this compartment, she can reach the enemy queen and the enemy CC, which is the 2 things that you have to get on every queen charge Lavaloon with your queen charge. Now, if we look in a little deeper, that eagle's going to be on the backside. That's where that second jump is going to come in. CC does not really matter on a queen charge attack as long as you know how to do it. You see how he delayed that poison on that hound right there? That's exactly how you want to queen charge a hound. That ensures that by the time that hound pops, that poison is still going to be in effect. And look at how many of these pups are going to go down to the poison. That's a whole bunch of minions that the queen doesn't have to waste time going around and grabbing. It's going to save anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds on an attack, depending on how many of those pups you catch in that poison. Now look at this right here, keeping her raged up. She's got a lot of damage, so he's keeping those rages. You don't want to get too far behind. You end up having to waste your ability. That's going to lessen the value that you get on the backside of this base. In just a moment, we're going to take a look at the Lavaloon portion of this, break down what needs to get done to make this Lavaloon a 3-star and why he chose Lavaloon for it as well. Here we go. Queen's going to be getting another rage down because she's going to be targeting this enemy queen next. He's keeping an eye on that time, getting the jump down, pre-placing that rage so that he can start his flight. Queen's getting ready to go down. After that, she should work her way over and grab the Seagull Artillery, which is going to be some big time value on the backside of this base. Now, we got Lavaloon coming in right here. You would always start at one side of the base, all right? You'd never start like up here in the middle and have them spread out. You always start on one side of the C shape or L shape. He's going to start over on this side right here. I like it. You're not going to have to fight any sweepers on the way in, but take a look at this right here. You want to keep an eye on your pathing, especially to high-value defenses like the multi. If we look at this Expo, how many spaces is it from the Wizard Tower? Only 2 spaces. How many spaces is Expo from this multi-target Inferno? 3 spaces. So, we take a look at the loons in here. They're going to path in here. They're going to path to this air defense. They're going to go to the Expo. Then they're going to go to this Wizard Tower, and they're going to keep moving around the base unless you pinch it off, all right? And what I'm talking about is you get your Lavaloon going in here, but you need to send a separate group right in here, specifically to get this cannon and then this air defense. Once this air defense is gone, all these loons that come in right in here are going to be in their way to this multi-target Inferno next. Of course, Queen's going to be helping in there. They could go around this way as well, but you hope that by that time, Queen's going to be in there. She's going to be grabbing this. She's going to be grabbing the Expo. It's going to force those loons to stay inside the base. If you leave behind defenses, especially one so high value like that multi-target Inferno with your loons, do not expect to 3-star your attacks. You just can't. You got to keep an eye on that loon pathing. There's the pinch right there. Coming in. Boom. He makes sure to get a haste down. He didn't even use a haste on this first section, or at least not many. He did use a haste right here to make sure he got that pinch in time. Look at the pathing that is left now. Wizard, Expo. We got Sweeper Expo and multi-target Inferno right here. And look at that Stone Slammer. He's got that early Grand Warden ability. That means all the up top is going to continue staying alive, just really taking care of the top part of that base, while the main portion of Loons, your big push, gets to stay inside the base, getting it taken out. His queen's taking out the enemy king right now, jumping through. She's going to survive the whole raid because that pinch, he's able to overwhelm this base with Loons. Absolutely beautiful attack. Now, why not Hogs, Corey? Why don't you do Queen Charge Hogs right there? Because if you didn't notice, there was a king back here on the back side of this base. Sometimes that can be enough. Sometimes it's just preference. Sometimes you like your Lava Loon pathing better than you like your Hog pathing. If it's a little too wide, you can manage that with different entry points with Loons. Whereas with Hogs, it's a little more difficult. You got to keep them together close enough where you can get them with the heals. Beautiful attack by Sir Bacon. Now let's go check out my attack. All right, friends, we got kind of a funky attack here. I've been loving it lately, and this one was in our CWO War versus Academia. Check this out. Look, first thing I noticed right here is all these air defenses grouped together. Then I noticed I could queen walk all three of those air defenses. Then I looked at the sweepers. We got a sweeper pointing that way, sweeper pointing that way. We have no sweeper coverage on this side of the base at all. We got this dead space right here to really keep a group of troops together moving in here. So I figured I'm going to queen walk these three air defenses right here, and then I'm going to send dragons in right here where they're not facing any air defenses. They're not fighting any sweepers. In fact, the only air defense left in this base is going to be on the far backside. Out here, we don't have too many buildings, so King should be able to funnel at least this much right here, if not more, very, very effectively. And the only thing I was looking at on this attack, hold on. Here, we'll go. We'll press go. Check this out. The baby dragon on that gold storage right there is take that out, and then the Loons specifically to take out that cannon. Just like that, the queen funnel has been made, making sure that she will walk to the left. Now we get a wizard right here on the left. That is to make sure that she stays closer into this wall. If we have too many buildings out on the left, she might just walk to the left. She might never step up and grab this building and this building, causing her to backtrack later on. If she ends up out here, she comes here and then decides to go backtrack around. So you got to keep her close to that wall so she stays close enough to take out those air defenses as she goes. Now, the only thing that I didn't know about on this hit was these expos right here, because their location, the queen walk, cannot reach them. Then because of this dead space right here, I did not think that the dragons were going to go over there and get them either. Really toyed with what to do with that. Even thought about sending my Stone Slammer right there. But if I would have, Stone Slammer, once it can direct target this, is going to be taking a lot of heat from this air defense. And I'm not going to have the Stone Slammer max Loons to help with this air defense on the backside when the dragons get through to it. So here we go. King coming down. Dragons are going to come in shortly after. Now, want to mention another part of the plan. I noticed there's not that much damage right here, all right? A little bit. Chip away at the dragons, maybe. So I brought a heal spell for that. But I wanted to save the Grand Warden ability for later in this base. Later in this base, we got the defensive queen. We got air defense. We got 2 expos in there. So I knew we had a lot more damage for the dragons on the backside of the base. So I'm saving that Grand Warden for back there. Now, check this out. I knew that once I got my dragons in there and got this wizard tower down, I would be able to direct target these expos with just 4 Loons. That was not my plan. That was why you're in voice, getting good ideas from other people. Somebody came up with that, and I said, hey, I really like that idea. I'm going to do that. And here we go. 4 Loons are coming in, direct target the expos. Queen's going to be popping her ability really soon because she was dealing with 2 expos and Teslas that had popped up there as well. A lot of damage. Another rage on her to keep her going. And look at that heal spell, keeping the dragons at full health while they're dealing with that enemy CC. Ended up being witches, which take dragons a long time, so that heal spell ended up being a really good call. They weren't able to get that multi down forever, but that heal kept them up. There's a Grand Warden ability on the dragons. Now look at this. We still got a freeze and a haste left over to help these max Loons coming out of that Pop Stone Slammer freeze this backside wizard tower and air defense. Great value, and the haste spell to help get them down nice and early. There we go. Freezing all those, hasting those full health max Loons through to that backside air defense before it really had a chance to do anything to any of my dragons, because that look how many of these dragons are left up. Queen's taking out that last air defense. I knew she was not going to be able to reach this backside multi. I knew it was going to get her healers, but that was at that point she's already taken down 3 air defenses. That is so late in the attack. I did not care if the healers died at that point. Their job is already done. Honestly, Queen's job is already done at that point, and this base is wrecked. Honestly, Seems like every war I can find at least one base that I can wreck with Queen Walk Dragons, and I've really been loving it lately. I'm not going to try and force it on a base that it's not going to work for, but if you look for things like this, you too are going to find bases that Queen Walk Dragon just absolutely annihilates. Friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. These kinds of videos are the ones that are really going to help you improve your skills, become a better attacker. So for you guys that watched all 3 of these attacks, you guys picked up things in this video, some of which you don't even remember now, that are going to come up to you when you're live on your next attack, or when you're planning an attack and you're going to be like, hey, I need to pinch this here, or hey, what am I going to do about these buildings that my queen's not going to reach? And you're going to have some extra ideas on how to deal with those things, and it's going to make you a better attacker. I know paying attention to all those details has made me a way better attacker over the years. Thanks for hanging out, friends. I'll see you in the next video. Now, I gotta tell you, I appreciate every single one of my viewers, but you who hang in until the very end of the video, you are my favorite. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, click right above my head and subscribe right there. And guys, check out the 2 awesome videos right on either side of me. Click on one of those and we can keep hanging out. I'll see you next time.